All right. Well, today I wanted to go through the 1 to 10 look scale for men. I think a lot of guys want to know how attractive they are. I kind of wish I had this list many years ago. You can use this list as a guide to kind of see where you roughly fall in the look scale. The examples I give will be celebrities, but this should give you a decent picture of where you fall. To start off, the scale will start at 2 and end at 9. As no one is perfect, therefore they can't be 10s, and there's not much difference between a 1 and a 2. So starting with the 2s, this will be someone who is very facially deformed or has very severe burns on their face. People who are a 2 out of 10 are extremely rare and are a very small percentage of the population. They've had to deal with very negative comments and looks their entire life, and they truly know what it's like to be unattractive. And I really feel for these people. The 3s. Do you have guys that are very overweight? I'm talking like morbidly obese. This could be someone who has very bad facial flaws, such as negative canthal tilt, their eyes being spaced super far apart, recessed chin, flaws that are very, very hard to fix or not possible to fix. A 3 can be a combination of many different unattractive features, such as a guy that is short, fat, and bald as an example. In the 3 range, they find it very, very difficult to find a relationship, and dating can be almost impossible in a lot of cases. This is a very, very small percentage of the population overall. 4s, this would be guys that would be considered below average. This is a fairly decent percentage of the population. Dating will be very difficult, but not entirely impossible. It will definitely be a massive struggle, and the vast majority of women will not find you attractive. Below average looking guys tend to have certain facial flaws, such as a recessed jaw, recessed chin, bigger nose, receding hairline, but they may have, at least one good facial feature. That brings us to the 5s. In this range, this is your average looking guy. This is the vast majority of the population. Most average looking guys have a mixture of good features and bad features. Dating will be somewhat difficult, and most women will not find them attractive. Women that find your type attractive may find you appealing. There isn't anything about your looks that stands out in a good way, but there's nothing really that sticks out in a bad way either. You can have a dating life as an average looking guy, but you'll need other factors outside of your looks to help you stand out. That could be money, status, social connections, really good social skills, combination of all of those ideally. As an average looking guy, women just simply won't approach you in this range in the vast majority of cases. There could be a case if you fall into a very specific niche, such as you have like red hair, or you kind of fit like the hipster type profile with like long hair, a beard. I think when you're in this range, you can start to niche max, and you may be able to see a slight benefit. Next is the 6 range. This range is above average looking guys. I would say this is probably the biggest gray area when it comes to dating. Some above average looking guys are doing really well in dating, and others can be struggling. You definitely stand out in this range, and some women will find you attractive, but definitely not all women. It'll be rare that a woman will approach you in a bar or club as an above average looking guy, but it will happen on a rare occasion. Above average looking guys will have a pretty decent dating life, but it will not be on easy mode. Most women aren't going to message you first, or if they do, it's not that enthusiastically, and you'll need to approach women in bars and clubs because the vast majority of the time, they're not going to approach you. As an above average looking guy, if you put in the effort, you can have a pretty good dating life. Some women will show you subtle signs of interest, but it's usually the vast majority of cases, it's not going to be like outright signs of interest. The signs of interest will be more subtle, such as a slight smile, slightly extended eye contact, but women won't really be calling you handsome outright that much, or walking up and talking, touching you like they would the rest of the scale that I'll talk about. But overall, above average looking guys are a fairly decent part of the population. They're not super rare. Now in the 7 range, this is where dating starts to get easy. You are objectively attractive to the vast majority of women. I would say, most girls would say that you're attractive, say that you're handsome. Around 80 to 90% of women are going to find you attractive in this range. You'll get lots of matches on dating apps, and women will typically message you first a decent amount of the time. 7s have very few facial flaws and many attractive features. There's also usually a feature that stands out, such as a chiseled jawline, high cheekbones, fuller lips. You may have a few minor facial flaws, but you're still objectively attractive to most women. As a 7, you're pretty much like the typical good-looking guy that you'll see on the street, college, high school, out and about at a bar or club. Women will sometimes approach you in bars and clubs, and women will be a little bit more direct with their signs of interest. You'll be called handsome a lot frequently on dating apps as well as in person. Dating is not on full-on like tutorial mode, but dating is definitely easy, and you pretty much have it made for the most part. You can attract, a lot of different types of girls, and the vast majority of girls will give you a chance. They'll go on a date with you. You may still get flaked on, you may still get ghosted or rejected occasionally, but in this range, it just doesn't happen too often as it would with like an average looking or above average looking guy. 7s are a very small percentage of the population. I wouldn't say 7 is rare, but it's more unusual. Now we get to the 8 range. These are very attractive guys that are universally attractive. These guys have universal appeal. As an 8, you're known for your looks. This is where you would find Hollywood actors such as Chris Hemsworth, Paul Walker, professional sports players like Cristiano Ronaldo. Pretty much all women will agree that you're attractive. It's pretty night and day, black and white when you're in the 8 range. Dating will be on easy mode, simply put, and women will approach you constantly at bars and clubs. Women will be very, very direct in their flirting most of the time and will touch you often and find excuses to touch you. You'll get a lot of matches on dating apps, and women will make it very, very easy for you to ask them out and also make themselves available to you. Women will constantly tell you how handsome you are and make the conversation just very easy for you in person, on dates. They'll make it very easy when you're messaging them on dating apps. Pretty much just make it as easy as possible for you. You may forget to message them back, and they'll message you a second time. In this range, you can build a following on social media very easily, and you can even start modeling at this point. From a looks perspective, an 8 has almost no facial flaws and has very good facial features and really good harmony, but they're not exactly completely perfect looking either. In the 9 range, 9s are the best looking guys on the planet. These guys have practically zero facial flaws. They have extremely attractive features, out of this world harmony, and tend to have world-breaking features that make them pretty much perfect. Most guys in the 9 range are either models like Sean O'Pride, Chico Lachowski in his prime, Jeremy Meeks, actors like Matt Bomer, and prime Brad Pitt, prime Leonardo DiCaprio, and prime Alan Delon. Pretty much in this range is a 9. You can pretty much date and attract any woman on the planet, practically. And most of these guys are extremely famous and are or would be considered the best looking guy in their era. Now, keep in mind, this is just a rough guideline to the look scale for men. I'm not a plastic surgeon, but I have a fairly decent understanding of facial aesthetics, so hopefully this helps you kind of pinpoint where you roughly are on the look scale. Now, also keep in mind that other factors like your height and your physique will come into play with how attractive women find you to be. Let's just say you're a guy, you're, facially you're a 6, but you're 6'3" or 6'4". That height can take you to about a 7, 7.5 in overall SMV. Also factors like your money, status, social connections, social skills, they also play a role as well. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, feel free to comment down below, and feel free to subscribe. Until next time, take care.